What's up, my Century Units? It's the Central Man here. So this is my review of Monday Night Raw for the 2nd of June, 1997. This Raw took place on my birthday. I was born on the 2nd of June, not 1997, but 1994. I was 3 years old back then. This Raw was the go-home show to King of the Ring 1997. This show was in Hutchinson, West Virginia. Before we get to the matches and segments of the show, there's one segment I forgot to write it down, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. It's about Sunny and the Super Soaker. It's the water pistol. I get they're trying to promote the Super Soaker because it's summertime. In this segment with Sunny, you had Jim Cornette, the Honky Tonk Man, and the Headbangers, that is Marsh and Thrasher. They're basically trying to ambush Sunny, and Sunny, I think she squirts the pistol. I think it's like Jim Cornette, I'm not too sure. It's one of them. And she said, wetter is better. So, anyway, so the first segment to kick off this Monday Night Raw, you had Vince McMahon interviewing The Undertaker. It's all about the previous week's episode, the previous week's main event segment with him and Paul Bearer. Taker says it was complicated and simple. I did what I did, not to protect myself, but protect the people who love. He said when I leave go into another world, I'm not going to hell, but I'm already here, or something like that. So, he said last week, the people of my past is almost about to get hurt, because Paul Bearer's almost revealed the secret. Let's see, I think he said I choose the path with Paul Bearer as my manager. He's gonna end up being prosecuted and ridiculed by the creatures of the night. I think he said, and also I think he said about Paul Bearer says he said he almost said he's gonna choke slam Paul Bearer. That was last week's episode of Raw. He said I had Paul Bearer with his fat neck, and he said he's gonna break his neck like a brittle bone. But he said in reality it's not risking the circumstances against me, because if he does that, the secret's already out. And also I'm trying to keep, and also he said about to Paul Bearer, kind of friend Paul Bearer. He said when my world is when what he said when his world is coming to an end, when you're sitting in the basement of hell, arrange the deal of the devil himself, and he said he will burn in eternity forevermore. So it was a good promo by the Undertaker. It said he doesn't want to do it he's just doing it for the creatures. Friend to trying to basically break Paul Bearer's fat neck like a brittle bone, but he don't want to end up to get giving out the secret. So did I miss that? Did I miss something about his promo? I'm gonna recap it. So yeah, he said I'm gonna say it again. So he said it's simple and complicated. I did what I did, not to protect myself, but protect the people I love. He said he's the people of the past, referring to his parents, is almost about to be necessarily hurt. I'm not when I leave this planet. What was it? When I leave to another world, I'm not going to hell, but I'm already there. Something like that. Last week I had Paul Bearer's fat neck, almost broke his neck like a brittle bone, but in reality it won't. Basically it's outrisk the circumstances against me. And yeah, I'm trying to recap the promo. So anyway, so because I think there's more of it. So yeah, that's. But anyway, it was a good promo. And then you got Paul Bearer, coming down to the ring and said to the Undertaker, "How dare you sliver down to the ring with McMahon and talk behind my back? You do when I do, you do as you do, if you like it or not." And also he said he wants Undertaker to slave the WWE roster, or WWF roster back then. It was the WWF back then. Right now it's the WWE. So he wants him to slave the WWF roster. And then Paul Bearer says, I'll rule the world." It's basically marking Psycho Sid's catchphrase, "I'll rule the world." And then suddenly I wrote down Psycho Sid's return, and then when Sid's music hits, you can tell that I laugh about Paul Bearer's facial reaction. It's kind of funny. And then Sid came back. I think it's his first appearance since April, because I think he had a vehicle accident. I don't know if that's true. Kayfabe, or is it a way to he takes some time off? I don't know. So Sid came out. He came to the ring. He kind of confronted Paul Bearer. Says, "You don't rule anything." He called him a fat man. I'm the ruler of the world. I'm the ruler of the WWF. He put over the Undertaker. Says, he won the belt fair and square. Not fair and square. Yeah, what he said, he won the belt with pride and honor. Then I'm gonna lose that respect. When you leech onto that fat leech, referring to Paul Bearer, and tell you what he says, you're not better than him, or you're the same as him, or something like that. So, and basically Sid wants to challenge the Undertaker, and Taker says, if you're, he said, "I drop you on your head once, I can do it again." He's set. And then you got the Nation of Domination coming out, because Farouk is Undertaker's next opponent at the King of the Ring. That's in 1997, by the way. He said, "You can stand there and argue who's the ruler of the world all you want." And he said, "Next week, a black guy will rule the world." And he said, like, oh yeah, and also, I forgot once, and also in the Undertaker promo, he says, "This is blackmail." So, and Farouk says, when you sell to, was it something about blackmail? When you sell to blackmail, you don't deserve to be champion. So it was a good promo for Farouk. And speaking of Farouk, we got you get the Ahmed Johnson promo. I can't understand. Yeah, Ahmed Johnson, he's not really a good talker. It's just what it is. So, yeah, the first match to kick off this Raw, we got Ahmed Johnson taking on Farouk versus Ahmed Johnson. I'm trying to say. So they did a recap of how this rivalry began. You had basically Farouk who debuted of the World Wrestling Federation as this. As this gladiator type of gimmick. He injured Ahmed Johnson. He was at the time. I got it right. I thought it was 1997 when Ahmed Johnson won the Intercontinental title. No, it was 96 he won the title. He became the first black Intercontinental champion. So yeah, he faked it due to kidney injury. Brought his rivalry. It continued it kind of continued at Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania 13. I think they did show the footage of their match I think it was at Revenge of the Taker. So, anyway, so I think it looks like a blow off to the rivalry. I don't know, I'm not too sure. So, anyway, so the match between Farouk and Ahmed Johnson, it was an okay match. It wasn't like terrible, but at the same time, it wasn't like anything important. So, anyway, so. You had the Nation of the Domination guys interfered. I think Crush kind of tripped Ahmed Johnson. He was going for kind of like this run, or he was going for like a move or something. I don't know. And Crush kind of tripped him up. In the end, the Undertaker, clear house, because he's going to be his opponent to when Undertaker is going to defend the title at King of the Ring. So, basically, Taker and Ahmed Johnson clear house, taking out the Nation guys. The only four. Yeah, there were 4 Nation members left. You got Farouk, you got Savio Vega, you got D'Lo Brown, and you got Crush, because JC Wolf and ICD, no, I think it's JC Ice and Wolfie D, my apologies. So, JC Ice and Wolfie D, they got kicked out of the group, and I think Clarence Mason's also gone from the company. Anyway, so Taker and Johnson beating down the Nation's guys, and also Undertaker cost Ahmed Johnson the match. He Taker Irish whip Johnson he Irish whipped Farouk onto Johnson, and Johnson kind of clashed into the stairs. In the end, Farouk grabbed Johnson, put him back in the ring, pinning for the win. And then afterwards, Johnson and Undertaker kind of argue, and then Undertaker chokeslam Ahmed Johnson to straight to hell. I also forgot to mention this in Sid's promo. He said he's gonna powerbomb Undertaker straight to hell. Sorry, I had it, I almost didn't have it. So I'm trying to telling you anyway, because sometimes I might forget matches or promos. Anyway, so the opener was okay. I think this is the planting the seeds of Ahmed Johnson going to join the Nation of Domination, the second version of the group. I think he ended up joining the Nation, then feuding the Nation once again, but I don't think it'll be on the same level as they feud in 96, 97 in the the first half of 1997. So, and then we got Owen Hart taking on Bob Holly. This is the rematch from I think it was not a couple weeks ago, but I think it was 2 weeks ago. Bob Holly got his win back. I'm not talking about 2 weeks in our current timeline today, but I'm talking about 2 weeks, a couple Raws ago from 1997. So, anyway, so the match between Owen Hart and Bob Holly, it was okay. It was a standard okay match. The first match was fine, was decent. In the end, Owen powerbombed Bob Holly and locked in the sharpshooter to make Bob Holly tap out. And yeah, Owen got his win back. So, and speaking of the Hart Foundation, you had the Hart Foundation coming out. Bret, Owen, who just had a match against Bob Holly, the future Hardcore Holly of the World Wrestling Federation, of WWE. Then it'd be WWF, soon to be WWE. So, anyway, so yeah, Owen, that is Bret Hart, Owen Hart, British Bulldog, the European champion, because Owen is the Intercontinental champion. Jim the Enfer Neidhart and the loose cannon Brian Pillman. And they're talking about when Owen and Bulldog lost the WWF Tag Team titles to Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels. So anyway, so Bret, and also Austin attacked and re-injured Bret's knee. Bret wasn't really pissed about it, because, originally it was, for King of the Ring. I'm going to review that show anytime soon, so stay tuned. Anyway, so, Bret wasn't pissed about this. Austin trying to re-injured Bret's knee. And also, Bret said about the great Canadian Donovan Bailey smoked Michael Johnson. I don't know. I don't know who Donovan Bailey is. I'm not too sure. I think he's a Michael John. I think Michael Johnson isn't a sprinter. Maybe he's a sprinter. I don't really know. I don't know about American and Canadian athletes. Some I know, others not so much. So anyway, so he said about Stone Cold Steve Austin. He said, "What are these Texans with excuses and bad legs?" And says to Shawn Michaels, said his doctor advised me not to take the risk. The King of the Ring match is off. And then Shawn says, Canadians always smoking Americans, but this has got nothing to do with the World Wrestling Federation. He kind of blamed it on Stone Cold Steve Austin and says, I think he said excuses, knocking over. So I remember not all the promo, but some of the promo. He kind of blamed Austin for, because he said about you ruined the opportunity to have Bret Hart the United States get rid of Bret Hart. He's basically said, Bret in his promo, is the match at King of the Ring that if Bret cannot beat Shawn in 10 minutes, he will never wrestle in the United States ever again. Austin kind of ruined it for Shawn. And, Austin said that he wants to take Bret Hart out permanently. And I think Shawn says, you never got it done. You shouted 3 times, you never got it done. They're kind of arguing because Shawn and Austin, they're not getting along. It's the first of many tag teams that they're not getting along, but tag team at the same time. with what was it, Angle, Benoit, Daniel Bryan, Kane, Team Hell No, Sheamus, Cesaro, The Bar. Maybe I missed another tag team. You know, I yeah, I think it's in WWE. Like they've been, I don't know, maybe I think I missed another a tag team. I don't know. Like they're not getting along, but end up in a tag team anyway. So anyway, so the arguing, and then you had Austin, not Austin. I think Sean trying to go into Austin's like locker room, kind of arguing, and then Pillman said to Vince McMahon, "You enjoy this, love this quarrel," and he kind of said had a proper session. You know, he wants Shawn Michaels to take his place. So another match was originally supposed to be scheduled on this show, of that pay per view, was like Steve Austin and Brian Pillman. Yeah, they had matches in WCW. The former members of the Hollywood Blondes, but they never wrestled in a WWF/WWE ring. But yeah, I think Austin says when I get past Shawn Michaels, I'm gonna, he said to Brian Pillman, I'm gonna kick your cripple raspberry horse's ass, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Sorry, yeah, that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Sorry, I'm speaking too fast, by the way. Need a drink of water, man. My throat's a bit dry. And Pillman's eyes, and also the show, they kind of cut shot of Owen with his facial reactions for whatever reason, I don't know. So there's one segment I also forgot to write down is, basically Sean talking about his match with Steve Austin at King of the Ring. He said he's got nothing to do this, he said to Pillman, you can have Lev Austin, that's what the Raw after King of the Ring. And he said to Austin, hope you sing the tune of Sweet Chin Music, they can beat each other where I care. Something like that. I'm speaking too fast, by the way, so not really a slow talker, so. So the next match, we got Hunter Hearst Helmsley taking on Goldust. This was a decent match. I like this match between, like Triple H and Goldust. They got some good chemistry, but I don't know. I think this is blowing off the rivalry. Maybe they had another match early in the year, because I think this is technically the blow off. Yeah, they fought years later in 2003. You had this segment with Goldust at the time. He's doing the T-Rex gimmick. It was funny, but like cock. He's trying to say something like ooh ooh ooh. Like it's kind of funny, but at the same time a bit offensive. But that's not on the same intensity, because that was during the feud between Triple H and Booker T, building up to their match at WrestleMania 19. Anyway, so this is, you can say it's the blow off of the rivalry between Helmsley and Goldust. It's all between the two managers, Chyna and Marlena. The match was fine, but in the end, Chyna, it basically had Marlena and Chyna got involved. I think Chyna trying to like punch in and grab it, got her hands on Goldust, and Marlena, that's Terry Reynolds, by the way, pulled Chyna off the ring apron. In the end, Goldust won this match, and then afterwards you had the referee and Helmsley argue, and Chyna kind of throw almost say Helmsley, but the referee Matt Chioda out of the ring. It's not because Chyna, I think that maybe it's before Chyna's doing the whole low blow. That's her shtick. She always low blow the male opponents, but she's throwing the referee out of the ring. So I thought she low blow him, but the referee, I'm trying to say, but it wasn't him. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So the next match I wrote, that is for the WWF Tag Team Championships. That is Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels in their first title defense as the Tag Team Champions, defending the belts against the Legion of Doom. In the pre-interview, I think Animal says he's gonna shove the title or kicking the throats of Stone Cold Steve Austin, something like whatever he says. Because they said, like, Sean says, after they defeat Owen Hart and British Bulldog, they're giving the Road Warriors a shot at the tag team titles, and also they kind of like spliced an image of, not image but a footage of the Road Warriors winning the tag team titles in 1981. It was at SummerSlam. I think it was the first time they won the tag team titles. They haven't won the tag team titles ever since. Yeah, they went on to win the tag team titles later on in the year, but anyway, so. The match between LOD versus Shawn Michaels. This is match of the night in my opinion. Really good match. They got a good time. Shawn was really took some bumps. Like, there was one moment of this match. I think it was Hawk or Animal clothesline Shawn off the ring apron, and Shawn kind of bumped himself into the ring apron. He does these crazy overselling bumps. That was kind of cool. It was back and forth between Shawn and Austin and Michaels and the Road Warriors, or the LOD. Sorry, I'm speaking fast, by the way, so my apologies. So anyway, one other match. I think one of the Road Warriors kicked out of because Austin hit, I think it was Animal or Hawk with the title belt, but yeah, and Animal or Hawk kicked out of the for the near fall. Yeah, the Hart Foundation trying to getting close to the ring. That was four of them. That's Pillman, Bulldog, Owen, and Neidhart. Yeah, you had I think Michael was trying to go after the Hart Foundation, but Austin stopped him and kind of pulled him by the hair. Austin and Shawn basically fight each other, push each other, and the match ended by a count out. So the Road Warriors won this match, but not the titles, because the titles do not change hands via of a DQ or a count out. So this match was good, but it's more furthering the match between and the rivalry between Austin and Shawn Michaels. We'll get to King of the Ring next time. So, but besides that, this was a good match. So then we got this JR interview with Mankind. This is the third one. It's all about Cactus Jack. This is good. The Mankind interview segments, they are compelling, very compelling. It's all about Mick Foley. So it's all about Cactus Jack. Mankind said to Jim Ross, said like he's willing to go the length. He wanted it more. He said about he lives in the era of bodybuilding physique. That's referring to the 1980s. Yeah, it's still continuing in the 1990s and the early 2000s, in the mid 2000s, but not right now. People are just now 200 pounds, a bit slimmer, not like bulky like a bodybuilder's physique. He said like he wants to do his own, and also he said he's willing to sleep in cars, and he said he wants to do his own way. No one tells him what to do. He said, there's some images of Mick Foley before he was Mankind. This is before, I never knew that Mick Foley was in the WWF in 1981. But yeah, he was not really a active guy in the roster. He was a jobber before he became the active guy in the roster. 5 years later, he was Jack Foley. I don't know, Jack Foley. Is that his dad's name? Well, I don't know. I know his real name's Mick, but what's with Jack? I know he became Cactus Jack, but anyway, so Cactus, and also he said about I heard the rumor about these matches. I do not care when I see the barbed wire strolling around the ring. He talks about the barbed wire match. That is fucking stupid. I hate those barbed wire matches because first you can't really. It's good to see people getting bleed. That's cool, but the one thing I hate these barbed wire matches. You got barbed wire surrounding the ring. You can't really do anything inside the ring. So he said he doesn't care. He said I'm finally home. Foley's little boy's finally home. So he said he's been he's been in bed of nails, and he went through thumbtacks. You know, he went to explosion sheets. You know, there's one video. I think it was a video, a footage of him and Terry Funk, because Terry Funk ended up going to the WWF as Chainsaw Charlie. That was like late '97, early '98. Yeah, it was not really Terry Funk. He'll wrestle as Terry Funk a decade later when WWE, you know, the WWE ECW, you know, ECW as the third brand, but you know, back in the '90s, you know, he was Chainsaw Charlie. So anyway, so he said he's got family respect. There was videos of him in ECW because I think at the time the Federation and ECW were in a working relationship. He said he's got he said he's got he said he said he's got some respect. It shows he never got spit lined up getting spit in the face and someone basically peeing in paper cups to pouring at him. Basically, he's like he shows like people are not getting spit in his face or getting thrown piss at his face. He didn't really say piss, but saying throwing pouring pee into paper cups to throw at him. You know, he had, because Catless Jack, he said Catless Jack, and also says Catless Jack, you know. And also, also there's close shots of his scar arm, and brings up he brings up the place he's been, Tokyo, Munich, Germany, when he had the ear ripped off. Sorry, my phone was run out of juice. I need to charge my phone. Now my phone is got 100% power. Anyway, so I'm gonna say it again before, you know, my phone was dying, you know, run out of juice off my phone. Anyway, so like I said, they cut shot of Mick Foley's scar arm. It brings up like the places that he's been, like Tokyo, Japan, Munich, Germany. I think Munich, Germany is the place that Mick Foley, I think he had a match with Vader, because at the time he was wrestling with the name Catless Jack. He had his ear ripped off near like the ropes, and Louisville, Kentucky. I think he wrestled with did he wrestle in Smoking Mountain Wrestling? That is Jim Cornette's promotion. I'm not really sure in it. And also the one final segment to end this segment with Jim Ross interviewing Mankind. It brings up like his, you know, people are scared about him. You know, like his body getting bruised. He brings up like people stare to his wounded face. His like scar arm. His stitch up like hand. And I think he said, I'm a coach guy. There is a woman, you know, paying a double money. Talk about the coach, and she moved back coach like to get away from me. I think he said like she felt much about me, so she cannot be around with me. And I think the one line for Mankind said to end this segment that my ability is scaring people away. Oh no, I think he says I got ability to drove people away because people just cannot stand about his like physicality. I think I got it right. And also I think he said people just do not understand. So anyway, it was a good segment. You know, it's just like I said, it's going into, I think it's the segment when Mankind gone to Memorable Claw, Jim Ross. You know, that's before the whole feud with Triple H and Mankind. Yeah, he wasn't with Triple H, but he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That was in the summer and the autumn of 1997. This is before this whole segment with Jim Ross and Mankind is playing the seeds of the Free Face of Foley. You know, introduced Dude Love and Cactus Jack to the World Wrestling Federation. You know, because at this moment in time, Mankind, the deranged Mankind, when he debuted to the company in 1996, he was starting to get stale. And speaking of Mankind, he competed in the match against Savio Vega. This is a final match of the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. Match was it was okay. It was more between Mankind and Lawler. Lawler made his return. Yeah, he didn't. He appeared in the second hour of Raw because back then Raw was a 2 hour show compared to the 3 hour Raw we see right now. They've been a 3 hour Raw since 2010. Since was it Raw 1000? Have announced I will review that episode of Monday Night Raw because we're getting near the 10-year anniversary of Raw 1000. So anyway, nothing much. You had Lawler calling Mankind a freak. Basically, Mankind pulled Lawler out of the commentary arena area. I thought he trying to lock Lawler with the mandible claw, trying to get himself counted out, but in the end, Mankind managed to beat Savio Vega. I think you had this miscommunication between Crush and Savio Vega. Crush accidentally, he was going for the heart punch on Mankind, but he accidentally hits Savio Vega instead. Mankind pins Vega and advance into the next round of the King of the Ring tournament. And the second round is just a semi-final stage that'll be at the pay-per-view. I'm gonna say in my review of King of the Ring 97, it looks lackluster. Anyway, so moving on to the main event. So the main event, we got The Undertaker taking on Psycho Sid. This is their rematch from WrestleMania 13, and the title is not on the line. Okay match. In the end, Undertaker chokeslammed Psycho Sid for the victory, and then afterwards he got beaten down by the Nation of Domination. And then Sid trying to save the Undertaker. He got cheered and popped. They're trying Sid's name in the start of the show when he confronts Undertaker and Paul Bearer. I think it's the time. I think he could do much. He's done much as a heel. When they give them the title not once but on two occasions. Against Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. I think it's the time turning babyface. I think it's the first time he turned babyface in the Federation. Because he mostly was a heel. He was Shawn Michaels' bodyguard. Then went on to win the WWF title twice in late '96, early '97, and then he's a babyface again. I think this is one of Psycho Sid's it's not his last appearance until he returned to the company 15 years later, but one of his final appearances before. You won't see Sid again until the year of 2012, 15 years later, in the storyline between Heath Slater and the Legends. That's building up to Raw 1000. So, he went on to go to ECW, then WCW, become a two-time WCW World Champion. Then he had his leg career-ended injury, at Sin 2001. That's another story for another time. So, the Nation stand tall, and the show fades to black. So, anyway, my final rating for this Raw, I give it, I'm not say 8. I give it a 7 out of 10. This is a decent Raw, not the best go-home show before the pay-per-view, but it was okay. You had some moments, The two matches I like is Goldust and Helmsley. It's nothing new. It's a decent match, in my opinion. And the tag team title matches, the tag team title match, between Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, and the Legion of Doom. Most of it, because the match ended in a count-out. But it's furthering up the rivalry between Austin and Shawn Michaels. I like the Mankind segment. I like the start of the show. Sid's return was cool. Yeah, nothing in the bad for me. Some matches were okay. They're okay matches. I'm not saying they're terrible matches. So far, when I'm reviewing these Raws, I don't really see a terrible match. Some of the matches I saw, it's just a shorter match. It wasn't terrible, but okay. So anyway, hope you enjoyed my review of Monday Night Raw for the 2nd of June, 1997. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button, sorry. Click the like, click the bell. Subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. And this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later, folks.